And Adam Christ for MyMMAnews.com being joined by Chris Sarro. He is getting ready to take on Ezatullah Kakar. It is going down at BKFC 17, April 30th in the Magic City, Birmingham, Alabama. First and foremost, I got to thank my man for joining me. Chris Sarro, how are you? Fight week, brother.
Dude, I love this. I live for fight week. It's the best time for me. I'm good, man. I'm good. We're down in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We're one day left in fight camp. Hell week. This is hell week, and yeah, I'm talking to you in the heat of it.
In the heat of it. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, man. But
no,
so you just your career, it's been something that's just impressive, because being a Maine guy and then just, I mean, taking that trip down south and now living in Puerto Rico, training in Puerto Rico, doing it big. I mean, it's been a big career change for you, right? Tell me how it's been paying off for you as a professional athlete.
Yeah, so I turned pro at the age of right before I turned 31. So I was 30 years old, and it's only been 2 years. And in that 2 years, it's been one hell of a roller coaster, that's for sure. It's a blessing. This whole journey has been a blessing, man. I never would have dreamed five years ago when I was, or even when I was buying the first BKFC event, with my ex-girlfriend back in Lewiston, Maine. And I never would have thought that I'd be friends with all these people and working with them and stuff like that. And the platform that I have and the fans I have, it's really been a blessing, man. I've done more changing as a human being in the last 2 years than I did in the 30 prior. It's pretty interesting, that's for sure.
Just, I mean, living in the adult setting of life and just having such a vast change, in all honesty, some people, they might have things together in the 20s, the 30s, and then they get their shot. And everybody, what I'm getting at is it happens for different people at different times, right? Do you think that this fruition has just been coming together for the perfect storm? I mean, let's just talk about camp. I mean, Elvin Brito, you got Brandon, you got Britain. I mean, everything is just the stars aligning for you is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, man. I feel this is like God working in my life, to be honest. If we won't get into my whole story, but it's one giant miracle after another. I turned pro. I had lost my best friend, my brother, and 4 days after burying him, standing there, I decided I was going to go for my dreams, and give myself like one last hope, one last shot at life, because I was, my cards, I laid them down. And 4 days later, I called a promoter, and they gave me a big name, and I didn't care. I was so numb. I felt the max amount of pain. There wasn't any kind of nothing anxiety or a fight was going to, affect me any. So I said yes, and went out there with I was numb. It was the weirdest thing. Never in the amateurs, I was, you feel the normal nerves everyone feels. I was still mourning. Most people wouldn't probably compete during this. I did it as a way to cope. And I think being completely numb, neutral, walking out there, I felt nothing when I walked out there. It was the weirdest thing. And then I had a one-punch walk-off knockout.
A viral KO.
And it got me signed with the promotion. And so, ever since that moment, if you knew how low I was before that fight, and then that fight happened, it's like winning the lottery right after losing, a loved one. It's bittersweet, And so in the beginning, I was trying to figure out, what to make of all this. This is my dream, but I just wasn't expecting it to actually like overnight change. My life changed overnight after that event. It was never the same. And so it's been a big learning process, but absolutely an enjoyable one. And I couldn't be more grateful. I have such a large fan base worldwide, let alone in New England, and kids in my town and my boxing class back home, kids that look up to me, and I have a platform for this short little window, and it's what do I do with it? And so I'm very grateful. I know you see a lot of fighters, and to each their own, complain about all these little things. One thing that permanently changed me after losing, my brother was I stopped complaining about little things. I became a lot more grateful I saw things differently. So, Yeah, it's been a crazy 2 years, man. To go 30 years, most people will get their break, like you said, it's different times. And it's when I needed it. I had a rough go at it for the first 30. Some people get it in their teens or early 20s, and so it's natural to adjust. I'd already adjusted to life, and now it's completely different. Walking through Walmart, you got to tack on another 40 minutes for pictures and autographs. It's cool though. Cool, man.
I mean, honestly, I mean, I don't know how spiritual you are or anything like that, but I mean, just with how close you were saying, like you have to be feeling that your brother couldn't be any prouder of you, right? I mean, just one of those things that just has to be that motivation factor as well going
It's the
into
number one.
It has to be, right?
Yeah. Oh, I talked to him the second when you guys see me pop up on the top of the ramp getting ready to walk. I'm talking with Jake and God and having a little one-on-one, and then we go. He's on every banner. He's on the back of every shirt, and I feel him right there in my corner. And I always tell him, "Give me that right hand." He had a knockout right hand, and so far so good. So yeah, no, it's beautiful. I do feel he always wanted me to turn professional. He was a Maine state champion wrestler, went undefeated all the way to the champs. He was just naturally gifted. It was a tragedy. He touched a lot of lives, but he always tried to get me to go this route. Mm-hmm. And I just couldn't get my own get out of my own way for so many years, and so it was a pact I made myself. Like, I'm going to do it, and I am going to make him proud. And so, yeah, no, it feels good, man. Yeah, it's mine. I have a lot of reasons why I fight, but that's definitely like up there.
And one. Like you said, it just trickles. He touched so many lives. Now you've been touching so many lives. The fan base is growing. It's continued to grow. So yeah, before we get into this fight itself, I want to talk to you about just Puerto Rico a little bit. We touched on it briefly, with Brandon, Elvin, and Britton and everything. But before we get into the talk, I want to talk about this mountainside luxury of a villa of a training facility. I mean, it's not your everyday training facility, and it just seems to be a magnet for all these BKFC stars. I mean, is this just like what you can come to expect from bare knuckle fighters in the future, just kind of teaming up together and seeing each other up through the ranks? This is just something different.
Yeah, man. It came together organically. I met Elvin officially at BKFC 11. We both fought on that card, and Brandon came to be in my corner because my coach had COVID, and that's when I met. All three of us met for the first time, and after that event, I flew out to Puerto Rico. Elvin invited me, and then Brandon came a couple months later, and then in November I came, for Elvin's camp I came back and invited Britton down, and so it's been this organic thing where, step by step, it seems to be going in a direction that feels natural. And the way it is down here, man, it's nothing special. There's nothing magical in the water. It's just everybody's mindset's different down here. The climate is obviously beautiful. There's not fast food on every corner. Like, you actually have to go far out of your way to go find a McDonald's and stuff like that. Everyone is in a positive mood. If there's homeless people, they're all happy and full of food and beer or whatever, and everyone's, so it's just a great environment that's been this way for, as long as Puerto Rico's been here. It's just like a hidden gem that I found that works with me specifically. It may not be that it works for every single fighter. Each fighter has their own recipe, but Puerto Rico definitely has all the elements that I need, to be a complete athlete. And it seems to be that way for a lot of other fighters. But yeah, no, it's a process. The gym isn't complete right now. The whole camp is the jungle gym. We have 4 or 5 different places we go. Some of them deep in the jungle where it's flipping tires. And I mean, we're in the jungle. The first time driving in, I'm like, where are we going? And then all of a sudden there's a little building and there's tires and nets and hammers, and that's a jungle gym officially. A bench press with palm trees and monkeys, and it's it's the definition of jungle gym. But like the heat, for me, I had to make this big cut. I knew back home in Maine, it's still snowing back there. It's very hard to cut weight. Down here, you cut weight when you're eating your cereal in the morning. I'm cutting weight talking to you. So it's ideal conditions. I encourage everyone to come down, but if you are coming down to train with us, definitely, message my management agency, go ahead of time. We just so we don't have any surprises. we had a couple of those where, you know, people are confused how it works. It's not like an official resort and, you know, sign and gym just yet. And so people were booking flights, and we're in camp, and we were like, whoa, it's news to us. So, but yeah, no, it's we're all friendly, and we want to help everybody and stuff. It's just it needs to be mutual, things like that. But it's very cool. The team down here has been massive for me. Coming from New England, is I've never had a massive team behind me. You know, normally one-on-one coach. Mm-hmm. Down here, I got a team. Everyone, you know, Elvin's not. He just got done fighting, and he pretty much just jumped back into camp to be right alongside me through this camp. You know, I did it for him and with the Kelly fight, so he's doing it for me. And you know, you can't put a price on that stuff, man. It's awesome.
You really can't, man. And you just segued me in my next question, talking about GOAT, you know, management. I mean, with you, we were talking about earlier, you just 2 years pro, and the fastest growing sport, honestly, in the world right now. I don't think anybody can defeat or can refute that. I'm sorry. No. Anyway, but you've also lined up with a proper management with GOAT management. So I want to ask what that's done. Obviously, just a short time as a professional athlete, but it has to do tremendous things for your mental aspect for professional fighting.
Absolutely. Management's crucial. You know, it's very hard to find good, honest, solid managers in this business. And that's just the truth of it, you know, to not sugarcoat things. I couldn't be more grateful. I went through a real unfortunate situation with my first management, and it sucks, and it happens. You know, it's a tricky business to find someone who can be honest, you know, and not get greedy and things like that. And we have that at GOAT with Scott and Vince. You know, everyone's honest. You know, whether we're right or wrong, it's not that someone's always right. Someone's all, you know. This is an interesting business, and like you said, it's brand new and it's fast growing. You know, there's lots of variables. And especially if you sign with bare knuckle management or with BKFC, you not with bare knuckle management, with BKFC is what I meant to say. You need solid management. You need a good team behind you. You know, you need to be able to focus on training full time. You know, and so my managers, they keep track of all my interviews, all my medicals, my paperwork, my sponsorships, endorsements. They keep track of that stuff. I did for the longest time, you know, and it's just my nature. I want to always have my hand in everything and keep an eye on things. And I had to get to a point where I had to let go of the reins so I could focus pure. And even still, I had my hand in everything, you know, they, you know, I love them. They know how to work with me, but it's crucial to have good management, man, because every fighter needs someone in their corner. That's what I feel in this business. Every fighter, whether it's a manager or not, every fighter needs one person looking out for them, looking and listening and seeing things that they may not see or miss. And it's crucial. It's an interesting business because there's no team. It's one person. And so one person can be easily influenced. A team, you have to get everyone to decide on something. You know, one person led on their own, you know, they can be led astray. And so, yeah, I'm very happy with GOAT. They're doing awesome things. You know, our team's growing. Everyone's happy. You know, we work out problems and everyone's honest. And that's all I can ask for. You know, I'm a pretty straight shooter. So, yeah.
That's all anybody can ask for is just honesty. And speaking of honesty, this is going to be your fourth walk to the BKFC squared circle. This is going to be Mr. Kakar's first, his debut walk to the BKFC squared circle. That is a big walk to make, something that you're used to. Do you think that obviously is into your favor?
You know, I don't know. There's not a lot on this guy. So I don't know him personally. No. And he may come out. I came out on my debut. I'm smiling, hands up. I'm thanking. I was so happy. I was so excited. You know, fist fights, I've been doing that my whole life. You know, so now to do it, get paid and do it as entertainment, I was coming out smiling. You couldn't fake that smile. He may come out the same way, and God bless him if he does. You know, we're here to enjoy this process, but I don't know if it'll be to my benefit or not, because I'm not worried about anything. You know, I don't care what he has whatsoever. It's purely what I'm bringing to him. You know, but he may deal well with pressure. He may not deal well with pressure. You know, that comes down to how strong your nerves are. You know, you don't have say in that. So. I guess we're all going to find out Friday night, you know, but I know one thing's for sure. I'm going to love it. I have a blast every time I walk out. I don't care what goes on. I just love. I feel alive. I live for it, man.
That smile all over your face just goes to show your passion and your love for it, man. Like you just cannot fake that
Yeah.
smile, like you were
No,
saying.
no, 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 no. No,
But
and I'm exhausted and
but
yeah,
given, yeah, like you said, given there's so little on Mr. Kakar, man, I mean, it has to make your job just that much easier just to focus on what you're doing, not getting
yeah.
lost in all of the study and tape. And this, it's just what you want to do, what you need to do, because
That's
there
it.
really isn't anything to watch on him, right?
No, there's not much to watch on him, and I don't think that he has, I don't know. I can't speak on his experience, and I don't want to. And
Mhm.
so yeah, it does make it easy. I always left all the tape watch and leave it up to my coach,
Mhm.
and so we don't have two sets of eyes seeing two different things, and I trust their word, and so I never worry too much about watching tape. I always just worry about getting myself in what I know is better shape than I was for my last fight. Each
Mhm.
fight, I always get in a little better shape. Push the boundaries and focus on my game plan and focus on the task at hand. And then we'll just see how the cards fall. I'm excited for this, man. This is I can't believe I'm having my fourth bare knuckle fight. It's very,
Yeah.
very exciting, very humbling. But I can tell you what, my last fight, I didn't win, and I hadn't lost a
Mhm.
fight in over 7 years. I had
Yeah.
gone on a win streak for 7 years.
Yep.
So it was the best thing that could have happened for my career,
Mhm.
because I wouldn't have made all the changes I made if I had won. I would have thought, hey, no need for change. So
Right. If it's
um,
not broke, don't fix it. But
right. And I tell you what, that was the only time I've ever gone down my entire life. I've been fighting since I was a young boy, and that was the only time ever. And that and that ain't happening again. That ain't gonna happen again. That's for damn sure. I'm a Sarro, and we got Sarro blood in us, and no one's perfect. No one's untouchable. But I can tell you one thing, ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen again. You guys are in for a show. Ain't gonna be an ass in their seat. That's for sure. I've never been in this shape in my life, man.
yeah.
These guys. I mean, Elvin's number one in the world. I'm training with my buddy Hector. I can't pronounce his last name. Forgive me. He knocked out Chop in the amateurs.
Mm,
Marcus Corley. I mean,
yeah.
over 200 fights. I'm not training with bums. I'm training with guys that keep me on edge and keep me honest at all times. And 6 days a week, 3 days
Mm.
for the last 2 months. I mean, I tell you what, it's got to be a miracle. No one's walking through me. He better have something on his side, or I pray for him, because I ain't going to be an easy walk in the park. That's for damn sure.
Obviously you have that right hand, you have the power, but if you had to boil it down in the nitty gritty, your keys to success in this fight, what is it?
Being fighting smart. Um, don't be. I tend to be super aggressive. And what part of what we changed up in this game is in this camp is just getting back to my boxing. I have 14 years as a boxer. I don't need to come out blasting every single time. But I might come out blasting. You don't know. It's a surprise. The keys to success for me were to make sure that I had a solid full camp with solid sparring, and I stuck to a diet where I didn't do a crash weight cut, where it's been a slow 2-month process weight cut, so my body's adjusted. I'm healthy. Everything's on point. Sleep's on point. Those are my keys to success, because that's what keeps me sharp here and keeps my confidence high. If you don't want to mess with me with my confidence through the roof in the best shape of my life, that's a tall glass right there. So, but I'm excited, man. This is like such a small window that we get, as athletes, especially professional fighters. I'm not going to waste 1 second out there, no matter what the outcome. I'm not wasting one. I'm never going to leave going, man, I wish I had done this or done that. You're never going to see that from me. So it's going to be exciting.
I know you're excited, but are you that excited that you can give a bold prediction?
Oh, I'm putting them out. I'm going to catch him with something. I don't feel he can handle my actual power. You guys haven't. My whole pro career has been in a matter of 5 and some odd minutes. All my fights added together. It's all been
Yeah.
knockouts. So you guys haven't even got to see my actual skill set. Everyone likes to think they got my cards. You got 5.5 minutes on me also. So I really I feel that my skill set's going to shine, and I'm going to catch him with an opening, catch him when he least expect it. I'm sharp, I'm fast, my timing's on point, and if all those are in line, it's a recipe for success, man. I have no reason, I have absolutely zero reason to feel or worry that it's not going to go my way.
I love it, man. Now, I want to close it down. Before I get your social media out there, I do want to close it down on just one final fun one. Your nickname, Golden Gloves. Now, a professional BKFC fighter, no gloves, is the nickname. What are we going to do about this? Is this going to stick around?
Always, man. Golden Gloves is because it's a family thing.
Yeah.
So my great-grandfather and my grandfather on both sides, mom and father, New York Golden Gloves, New England Golden Gloves, my uncle Golden Gloves, I'm Golden Gloves. You know what I mean? So it was since 7 years old, I wanted to win the Golden Gloves since I was 7. I thought you actually got a pair of solid gold gloves. I was a greedy little kid. I thought they gave you these gold blocks of gloves and you were the best fighter in the land. And that, as a kid, that's what I envisioned. And as I grew older, I learned what they were. But it was always it was the number one goal in my life. And once I had won them, I thought I was all done. I was in the working class and all that. And then what happened with Jake happened. And now I was like, no, I'm not done fighting yet. I think I'm just beginning. So, yeah, that's the story behind it.
And the story is beautiful, man. I look forward to seeing it unfold even more, man. Like I said, let's get your social media out there. Obviously, your fans have been growing by the numbers. So for those that don't know, tell them how to keep in touch with your fights.
Absolutely, man. So at Chris Golden Gloves, all one word, at Instagram and Facebook, at Chris Golden Gloves. Go check me out. Go follow me. My Instagram, I put all the behind the scenes when, I'm one of the fighters that tends to carry my camera right up until the fight. I like to, so you'll be able to follow my story, follow my Instagram page, my Facebook page and story. You'll be able to see all the behind the scenes action, all the good stuff that, you won't see anywhere else. So, yeah, man. And plus I'm always posting funny stuff and I try to have fun with it. I'm not a big social media guy. So if I have to be on there all the time, I try to have fun with it. So yeah, no, I appreciate, and thank you for having me on your show, man.
Oh, no problem, man. I hope to talk to you in the future, maybe after the fight, maybe before the next one. But again, it's a beautiful story. I look forward to seeing it unfold. Best of luck next Friday. A little under a week left, man, and we cannot wait to see it. Thank you so much for joining me, brother.
Thank you. Have a good night, man.
There he goes, Chris Sarro, getting ready to take on Ezatullah Kakar. It's going down on April 30th at BKFC 17th, going down in the magic city of Birmingham, Alabama. For Chris Sarro, I'm Adam Christ. Make sure you keep it locked to my MMAnews.com for all your fight news.